We're here, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Nolan, God's Planet. Is it going to be Adam Nolan, or is it going to be Adam Nolan, aka The Sound Around Us?
No, Adam Nolan.
So it's just going to be Adam Nolan, God's Planet.
Yeah, I decided in the end
yeah.
I'm just going to keep my performance name as my own name, Adam Nolan.
That's it. I love that.
Yeah, I was battling between like different kind of ideas and other names, and I was trying some other stuff out during the week with different friends, and oh god, the kind of names we came up with was just, they're funny, but I think it's just better.
It's good to be able to be something that's funny and something that's not,
Yeah, that's it. I don't want to be stuck in one kind of particular genre. Like, I don't want to be like, this is the only thing I do. And I think if I was picking an artist name, like an actual like stage name, in a way people can have an attachment to that. And of course they have that attachment to me playing saxophone, but I think over time they'll start realising that I'm a creator. That's what I do. Like, I create things.
Yeah.
and I don't want to be limited to anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've gave a lot of my attention and energy and focus to free jazz over the past, I don't know how long it's been now, but it's been over 5 years, and I've released like a lot of different albums, like, and all based on different.
You released
concepts.
a lot of yourself. You released a lot of your, like, what you have within, like, your experience, like, you shared a lot of your experience.
Yeah, I feel like for me, like, free jazz was a way of exploring altered states of consciousness, but not just that, like, just states of mind, and really pushing my psychology to different kind of limits, and working with certain concepts that I found intriguing. And I think I don't know when it started. Maybe it was always something I was doing from youth. Like, I always felt like I would get bored of a mindset or a way of living eventually. I would absorb myself in it, and I would live in it, and that would be my thing. This is who I am now, and I'm going to explore this to the.
Here it is. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. Like, and yeah, I guess that translated into the music somehow, because the music would be some kind of reflection of all that. And which is what I love about free jazz, because it has there's so much ways you can take it,
Yeah. It's different each time, and
and there's so much different ways you can challenge yourself within free jazz. It's full of concepts. Like, it's full of, once you know your scales, your improvisation, your theory, blah 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 blah. Like, it ends up becoming, for me anyway, about ideas and concepts. So God's Planet, in a sense, was, I don't want to say the pinnacle, because I'm going to release more music in the future, free jazz. This is going to be my last free jazz album for about a year or so.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, for the past while it's been kind of 3 a year, which, looking back now, it was worth it, but it was probably too much, you know what I mean? I put a lot of pressure on myself. But it was worth it. But yeah, that album, it was something different, it burnt me out after it, and I just felt like I didn't know who I was after it, you know what I mean? I didn't know what I wanted anymore. In a sense, like I said, it was some kind of pinnacle, and definitely the most I've ever pushed myself. It was what it was it was like a very long sprint.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. It was like I was comparing to, like, it was the longest distance. It was the furthest distance you had ever gone, like,
Yeah.
Like, say if someone's training for the marathon, and then that was the marathon, like, that was the longest distance you ever ran, like, so that was the furthest you ever went with this album, like.
Yeah, it's.
I get that.
Yeah, like, I feel like for me, free jazz was more about sprints than marathons. You know what I mean? And I think because I was working on releasing other stuff along the year, God's Planet was some kind of thing that told me it's time to take a break.
Yeah.
Or not take a break even, but it's time to stop being in this super creative high gear mindset.
It was a change of consciousness. It was a change of gear, I think. You can hear that a lot, like, you know. I wanted to ask about the River Nor. You know, it was the first thing I heard on the album, so like what was the connection there?
Well, just for everyone that's listening, this is right beside where I live, and we're in Kilkenny County Council, and the river is just right over there. The album was actually recorded just over there, like just over there. But I
can hear it now. Yeah, it sounds familiar. Like.
Yeah, like I didn't want the interview to be beside it because it might be a bit too loud with the river and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted it to be somewhere a little more calm, like whereas I was right beside the actual weir itself, where it's flowing, but it's quite intense as well. I had other locations I had in mind, and they were maybe a bit too mellow, whereas with that sound there, it had the right amount of flow in it, but also that force and power.
Yeah, you can hear that kind of constant. You know, it's just a constant there. Like, you know.
Yeah, and I guess that was a way of just helping me to. It helped propel me further, but I also like
propellant.
Yeah, take that out, enough.
Well, we've got it. We've already got it. But I'm just gonna take it down from me.
But like I do a lot of different things coming up to recording sessions, like practice wise. Like it isn't just playing the music. Like I do a lot of study on different things.
Like what?
Like I would do a lot of meditation study and stuff. I would do a lot of study on psychology, I guess, and different states of mind. But also,
what is the kind of meditation study though? I mean, like to meditate is the, I don't know. The way I think of it is to just sit there or to just lie there. Like,
well, that's what you can do. But like me, I did the Higher Balance Institute course, which transformed my life.
Okay.
And gave me new levels of awareness, and not just that. It did so much for me. You know, it just expanded my world, and the course in itself never ends. I don't even like to call it a course because it's a modern philosophy. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's modern spiritual teachings that are relevant for the times we're in.
Yeah.
And for
nice, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so a lot of that I would have studied. A lot of other stuff too. And I guess it just goes on different kind of motivations from famous people. Like I was thinking about this the other day. I was like,
yeah.
Like the way I was always looking at the way I was always looking at free jazz, or my jazz journey, was my goal was, in a sense, it was to get their attention, you know, and to kind of demonstrate that I was one of the riskiest new young people on the scene, or in a scene, or in my own world. And I feel like that part of me came out, and I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, like I loved it. Like it was like, I guess Muhammad Ali would have been a big inspiration. Kind of people that would be outspoken, saying, I am this, you can take it or leave it, I don't care what you think.
Fully going after and fully owning it and just fully being it, like,
and letting everyone know.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of just being so in that flow state. Well, you have to let people know, you know what's happening, so you're so excited about it, like, you know.
For sure, like, and I guess like a thing that was coming to me recently was kind of like if you can back up what you're saying, like in the musical sense, like if you're saying this is what I do, I take these risks, I do this, I like this is the music I do, I'm pushing myself, then in my opinion, like it's not cocky, like it's just the way I look at myself now, because I look at myself and I look at my ego in many different ways, and
you're being more like the observer, like.
Definitely, like, and I'm watching this little human run around and do what I do, like, you know. And like the way I see myself now, or maybe I'm changing now, I'm not sure, but the way I saw myself in that sense was I was a walking mindset. I was saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, I like mad kind of things I was saying, like I'm the king of jazz, like this mad stuff like that. People be like, who does he think he is? Do you know what I mean?
That's totally cool though, like, because I feel like that's just kind of like you've got to sort of get lost in it, like.
I know,
like,
I did,
you know,
like
if you're not getting lost in it, then like, you know, what fun is it, like, you know?
That's exactly it. It was for fun, like, and well, it wasn't just fun. It was also it was my own personal encouragement, you know, and it was that line in me that was like, do it, fucking come on, yes, do it, and just keep pushing yourself, keep creating that.
Just that kind of hunger, like,
that hunger, and keep like saying it until it becomes real. It's like opening up a portal that you can walk in and then live that life, you know.
okay. That's
like,
good. That's good.
Grapes.
I have like jazz saxophone questions.
Cool.
Because I don't play saxophone in that way. I don't own a saxophone, so why don't you tell me and the others like about some saxophone techniques and what I called in my notes like new languages. I'm hearing new saxophone languages. You know, I hear on God's plan, as I said, when I was listening, it was like I was decoding phrases. I was hearing phrases. I was hearing new languages come through. So tell us just about your saxophone techniques.
So for this album, I really wanted to explore a lot more avant-garde kind of crunching, breaking, exploding through notes, not relying on singular notes and trying to get multiple kind of phonics at the same time and stuff like that, but not so focusing on the kind of gimmicky part of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, which can, I think what I was trying to do for God's Planet was I was trying to say many things at once.
I definitely got that. It's a very shared phonic space. There's really high kind of like beautiful sort of close notes that are like a high frequency transmission, then going into really deep kind of getting those deepest kind of horn sounds and those kind of dual tone sounds where you're getting a really high squeak with a really low growl and stuff. You know, so that's what I meant by different languages, and it's nearly like different species and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely going between intense and not intense, but it's not like kind of like some of my previous stuff. It has a different. It's constantly deep.
Well, there's more.
It's a deeper level and layer than the other stuff. I think it's more. Like My heart is more open in it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just going further in, like it's going further in.
It's that extra bit more of that extra bit more deep, like, and to try and stay in that for a longer time.
Yeah.
You know, and that was one of the hardest parts about it, like when I came to the last couple of tracks, like I was exhausted, like I
really
like not just physically, like my head was like I was like I ungrounded wasn't the word. It was kind of like ungrounded, but it was more like a little bit speechless. I was speechless at my own playing, but it wasn't that.
I know that, but I feel like it's kind of like
I don't know what it was.
you're getting into a point of like, what do I do on Earth? Because like,
Yeah, I experienced.
You're tapping into such deep experiences and such kind of consciousness altering experiences that you're kind of like, what do I now do as this human? When you try and get back to this human, as you said a few minutes ago, like just this human running around Earth, this character. How can I go back to that?
That's
after such a deep experience.
It's quite like mundane, like life in the physical body. Like
you'd be getting a bit of a fright coming out of it, like.
Yeah, like it was. It lasted a long time. That's what I noticed. You see, like it wasn't like I've done other kind of recording sessions before, and like I'd be tired for the day or the evening, and then the next day I'd still be kind of uplifted from it and stuff like that. But
you'd be listening back on takes and
I'd be listening. But with this, it was longer. It was longer. It lasted a long time. It was months, like.
That's so mad, like.
It was mad, like, and I listened to it a lot. You know, I listened to it so much, and I absorbed the shit out of it. Like, you know, my mind absorbed everything that was being played, and I was listening to it over and over again, and the multiple layers and these equations figuring themselves out. You know, and I feel like a lot of the way I play, it's basically thought processes and branches and things, just equations figuring themselves out.
For sure.
And then if I find the equation becomes too predictable, that's when I'll change it, you know. So it's there's
so much of that. Like I picked up on so much of that, even in the notes of what a few of the tracks mean to me. I was getting what you're describing now, like, you know what I mean? I was getting a lot of what you're describing. Why don't you tell me about what the day of is like? Do you know the day of going into like that? What's it like, the actual day of it? Is it like you're nervous for like a gig? You know, is it similar to that, or?
Sometimes it's stressful.
Yeah.
Some recording sessions can be more stressful than others.
Yeah.
That one. Was lonely.
Yeah.
It was lonely. I felt.
This leads to some of my next questions. That's good.
I felt like I was all by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like compared to other recording sessions where I had people there, but I was still in my own world in my head. You know.
You're so exposed.
Yeah.
You're so alone.
I was lonely, and I don't want to say sad. I wasn't sad. I was.
Were you lonely during it?
I don't know. I was. I don't know what. Like it was kind of like. It was like I didn't know what I was doing for anymore.
Yeah.
But like I still had all the passion and heart and soul in it. It was almost like I was egoless, I guess.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because it was the ego that was driving it, you know? It was that was the thing that's saying, you have to do something very, very off the wall today.
I feel like I have to now read the notes that I have of the first track, The Internal World.
Work away.
Because, wait till you hear what they are. Track 1, The Internal World, a conversation with the higher self and the ego. Right, that's what it was, a conversation between the higher self and the ego. How are you still not getting this? It's really time you get the message. We've been through this before. That's what I have written down for The Internal World.
Very good.
You can see it there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying.
Cal was very good. He took notes and everything. Well prepared.
Yeah, how are you still not getting this? And then I had location Jerusalem. I don't even have locations for all of them. But I was getting such a strong Like, it was Holy Land. You know, I've never been to any of those places, so I can't even say for sure. So I just threw down Jerusalem. But
No, that's cool.
like, I'd know what I meant by that. Like, you know, just when looking back.
It has
But
that
yeah, it was
sacred
so,
thing about it. Like,
yeah, but it was so kind of like, are you really having to read the Bible now for the 50th time or whatever it is? And it's like, come on, like.
yeah, it's shouting.
It's shouting it at you.
Shouting at you.
It's shouting the answer
It's
at
shouting
you.
the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obvious. Like it's
Yeah.
it's basically saying this is what it fucking is. This is. It's right here.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
right
yeah.
here. It's right here, and it keeps repeating that,
Yeah,
breaking the equation up, and then coming back. It's right here.
Yeah. Can you not finally get? Yeah, and I felt it being
That's so
explained in different ways as well, and being like, okay, and now can you see that it's not just still like this, you know, like
Yeah.
whatever it was. Oh,
It's trying. It's
Yeah.
definitely trying to like just. Well, another roundabout way of saying that, but it's basically just highlighting the universe figuring itself out.
yeah.
I think that's what it is. That like in some like, you know, the depth of the whole thing is just it.
The universe figuring itself
It's
out.
the universe figuring itself out.
That's a really good way of putting
Cool.
it. Why no band?
Say again.
Why no band? You know, because this is what I was wondering. Like when you were talking about you're lonely and stuff, I was like, that leads me perfectly to like what I was really wondering when I listened to it, and it's just like, obviously I know you years and I know you through jazz saxophone and stuff, but
Yeah.
why is this just saxophone and river sounds?
I think like
You know, nature sounds.
following like from the start of my jazz journey. It was originally like 4-piece lineup and stuff like that, and I think as I went on, my playing got better because each album I was pushing myself and putting myself under pressure because every album is done one take. Do you know what I mean? And I have to be prepared for it. Do you know? And as time went on, I got to explore new colours, and my playing changed dramatically. Like anyone that
Yeah.
listens to my first album compared to now, it's a different saxophone player. I can listen to my other stuff and go, I'm happy with it. I love those albums.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a different.
I know, yeah.
Now it's an
It's just a different level, yeah.
now I'm in energy. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just a human trying to express colour and shape and texture and scenes and all that. Like now I'm an equation. I'm an equation figuring itself
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
trying to not get bored.
It's kind of
That's why
bringing
I'm-
it. It's kind of bringing it from 3D to 5D to 9D. You
Something
know,
like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It just gets more advanced and complex. And
Do you
yeah.
feel it was a little bit too like? And this is literally kind of like, you know, starting to ask like how free is free, and like how free can you truly be? Like, you know, is like
yeah.
is even the saxophone not free? Like, you know. Like
Limiting me.
yeah, there's limitations within a saxophone, but like, did you feel that there would be more limitations if you were to do this as a trio, if you were to try God's Planet?
I feel it would have been more limited.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah.
Like that was freedom. Like they're all freedom, but they're different levels, and that was way more advanced, exposed,
yeah,
deep. Vulnerable,
yeah. You see,
obvious. Like
yeah.
it was just
I'd like-
obviously more.
when you say
more-
stuff like that, I'd like to see if it would be possible to get that like vulnerability with somebody. You know, like, I don't know what it would be with. If it would be with the drummer or with it be a pianist, or if it can
Yeah.
only be achieved with, I don't know if it would be tried and failed.
Well,
you know,
that's
if
a-
it
but
would
that's
could
good.
only
That's
be
good.
achieved.
That's a really good thought, like
Mm.
an idea. Because I haven't played like that, like I played in God's Planet.
Yeah.
With bands, like
Yeah,
I'm not sure how they'd react.
yeah.
I think it might be
I'd
like one of
love
those things
to.
where they're like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. But
I'd love to hear, like, if I was kind of, I don't know, if I found somebody with that same with that same freedom that you have, because I know like my playing, I mean, I feel like I'm free to have to choose which chord I want and stuff like that. But there's another level of freedom to what you're doing. So like, if I found somebody in the world who was at that level of freedom, I'd be like, try sit down with Adam Nolan, maybe with 2 saxes. You know,
that could be nice.
Yeah, like maybe with 2 saxes.
The expected thing would be just another drummer or another bass player. Now, someone did suggest that to me. Actually, one of my old saxophone teachers, Johnny Pumphrey, he actually done a review on the album as well. He done the first review on the album, which was really
on God's Plan.
Yeah,
okay,
which was amazing. He is a very creative guy.
Yeah,
and very expressive in the way he hears things and the way he breaks it down.
Yeah,
and that review was really great. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to read that.
He suggested something like maybe. Sorry if I forgot, Johnny. But I think he suggested maybe like trying it with. Did he say flutes and like a different lineup, like a flute and a piano or something like that? Compared to my normal trio, double bass and drums.
I could see this be really intense. You, bass clarinet, normal clarinet, and there's like flute in there, I don't know, piccolo, and they're all playing real normal stuff.
Really? Oh wow.
And you're playing God's Plan type of stuff. But you can kind of get that
nice,
sort of stuff through Ableton as well. When God's Plan through Ableton. When God's Plan is out and I'm sitting at home at Ableton, I could start messing around with stuff like that and start putting it to more normal, conventional sounding stuff, you know.
That could be interesting, yeah, because
like a 90s hip hop beat, and then God's Planet come in, you know, over it, like pair them together.
If it works, it works. That's fantastic if it works. You know what I mean?
I think it is. I think it's going to be a new TikTok trend. I think that's going to be the new one now. You know,
yeah, it was this
like God's Planet,
this crazy
sample.
album like that just seems to work on anything because it's so atonal, like it's
yeah, it works with everything.
It would work with anything, but at the same time, it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be that like kind of, you could see like the person that wouldn't be educated musically, like, or into music as deep as we would be, like, kind of listen to it and like they'd be like, what is this? You know, it's that cliche thing like of kind of free jazz sounds like noise.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. You're scoring 100% on the question so far.
Yes.
Who is this music
I guess
for?
a grape again.
You know, who is this music for?
Ooh.
Like, I wrote it like, is it for everyone? I know the answer already is that it's not for everyone. And from hearing it as well. But, you know, is it a certain type of listener? If so, who, like, you know, who's it for? Or is it for everyone?
If I'm being truly honest from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
I want it to be for everyone.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Me too.
And that's what why I've been so outspoken about free jazz.
Yeah.
Because I get it. Do you know what I mean? I get it. I get the wisdom in it. I get the layers in it. I get the equations in it. I get how this expands people's minds. But you just have to take your time with it. And then when you take your time with it and you start listening more, that knowledge and wisdom is within it. That's the code. It's a code. It's an equation.
Okay.
And that's the code. And when you figure out the patterns and the equations, it's no longer noise. It's just color and thought processes and just intensity of creativity all happening in the moment under pressure.
Okay, that's good. Like, I feel like though, like, do you understand and do you love the layers of free jazz because you have jazz tuition though? Do you know? Like, and is it like, this kind of leads me to one of my other questions that ties in with one of my other questions, like is it gonna take that they have to hear, like, the first jazz we hear is like Autumn Leaves or something like that, or like I don't know, Louis Armstrong or something, and it's real easy listening and real sweet on the ears. Is that the layers you have to go through, like, you know, to lead you to
like
be able to
everything
listen
has
to
layers.
Yeah.
everything, not music, like not just music.
Yeah,
like
yeah, of
everything,
course,
like
yeah.
everything, like
Oh, of
even
course.
the subtlest ways you speak have layers.
Grapes, layers.
Yeah, like everything just has that, and what I think free jazz is for me is the obvious display of those layers.
Mm.
Whereas, let's say, some of the older traditional kind of stuff, to me, it would have layers also,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're not as obvious. They're more surface level.
Yeah.
Free jazz is all the layers together,
Mm.
and it's like, figure me out. If you figure me out, you've cracked a serious code there, and that's what I love about it. It's like a puzzle box. It's like some kind of thing, and the way I see it in my mind, it. Oh, I wish I could describe it in words. Like it's like. It's
You're
like
doing it. I think though.
it's like it's like branches. It's branches what I see,
Yeah.
and when I'm listening, it's
Branches makes a lot of sense.
But
yeah.
branches kind of like sometimes they're gold, and I don't mean just tree branches. It's like that cosmic kind of branches of like light. Scattered is not the word.
Like connection.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of like
constellations.
kind of like constellations, but it's more happening like this. That's what it's.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that, and it's happening while in the moment. Let's say the lines are just moving, and that's the kind of shape. It's like things.
There is a word for it. It's like stuff that happens in deep space, but we don't know because we're not like astrophysicists.
Yeah.
But there's
whatever I'm doing here, it's like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's twisting, it's turning, spinning. It's
there's a name on that.
It's multiple equations
Yeah.
figuring themselves out, and that's the great thing about it as well. It's like I think for God's Planet as well. I had different ideas. Like other albums, I think they're a little more straightforward, and you could tell. But with God's Planet, it's multiple equations. It isn't just one equation.
Yeah.
It's like multiple things, and then going back and forward between those equations,
Yeah.
developing that equation, then saying, okay, it's there. I will hint within that equation something else, and that will relate to another equation.
Yes.
Try and mixing all these, like my hands are just doing here, and I'm going mad. Like so, it's very deep. It's very when you really break it down, when you really give it a chance.
That's what I was
This is
hearing,
serious.
yeah.
This is serious shit. Like, you know, this isn't just like
No.
a display of artistic creativity to make myself feel better about myself.
Yeah,
and
no, I
display
know,
to
yeah.
the world that I've thought about something so deep.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck
yeah.
that shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the expression of of it's me trying to figure myself out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And beyond that, myself and other things, and pushing and pulling back.
Okay. So, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you know, I hear this and I feel this, and like I love and endorse it because I want to see it happen so much, right? But the question, one of the big questions on here is why. Like, are you doing that? Why do you want to push the boundaries, and why are you not just playing jazz standards, playing even more conventional like free jazz gigs? Or, you know what I mean? Or
anything we know.
yeah, like why are you not like trying to even be allowed to, like, you know? You get me?
Yeah, I get you. I definitely
That's
get
the
you.
question. Why? Like,
Why?
What's actually fueling the fire inside? Like,
fuel-
you know, what is it?
The fuel is
And I know that a lot of times
It's-
it's that it just is, and it's kind of like there's no going back now because it just is. But like, do you feel
the
like
fuel is it's the bigger picture. It's not about me. People will think it is,
yeah,
and at times I thought it was.
yeah,
One of the things I mentioned in the press release is some people would think I done it for myself, other people would think I done it for God,
yeah,
and then the next part is God is everything, and I am a part of everything. I believe it was a bit of both.
yeah,
So that's kind of the answer, and that to break out or to get a little more deep on that, it's about expanding consciousness. It's about helping the Gaia consciousness of this planet to develop under short periods of time, and to have multiple equations and thoughts that can stem from that will enhance their outlook and intelligence and heart, to become more emotionally intelligent, to be more in control of them, to be more aware, to be more sharp. It's to make us more intelligent, and it's made me more intelligent.
It's like it's like so much more functional than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because like I was kind of, I don't know, I was breaking it down as an artistic piece mathematically and aquatically, but like it was, I don't know, now it's actually sounding more functional. Like it's actually like a tool, like when the kind of primate, you know, the pre-human species, the Neanderthals and stuff, ate the psychedelics and they were able to see more colours. It's like, this is what God's Planet album is going to be, that they're like, this is going to help you tap into what's coming next for these next like evolutionary years and stuff. Like that's such a turning point as well. Like
the way I feel, yeah, it's a code.
Yeah,
it's a code.
Yeah,
it's a code, and a key or a code. Maybe both.
Yeah.
And when you allow that code to be absorbed into your consciousness, allow that code or data to be absorbed into your mind, and to reflect upon that code over and over again, that's how it will lead to epiphanies and deep transformation. God.
That's good though.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. It's a code, it's a philosophy, and it's a way of like just really figuring out that thing, you know. It's really breaking that down and moving and moving and moving, and then encouraging the rest to move with it as well, you know. So yeah, that's the story.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you know when it's the take? Like, let's say you're so deep in it, you're after being in there at like 11 minutes or something, you turn around and you go, oh no, I'm not feeling it, or like, is it like you could be really feeling it and you listen back and you're like, oh nah, like take that out, or like, you know, try mix it, or like, how do you know when it's the take?
It has to be the take.
Yeah.
That's it, like, you know.
Okay,
like,
that's cool.
For like, if I'm being honest, 7 tracks were recorded for this album.
Okay.
But 5 were in the end. The first 5 were released in the end. It was the last 2. I was too tired.
Are they still there? Because I would like to get them as outtakes.
I might release them as bonus tracks.
Yeah, I'd like to get them as outtakes for sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
but
like, you know, I've been so about those 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like the 5 are the perfect amount for the album. They describe everything I'm trying to say in the album. They have the whole personality. The last 2 are just me doing 2 more takes just to have extra content, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like,
you had everything said after 5.
It was finished. It was finished after the last track, Willpower.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, I knew it, but I did 2 more just to have them. That would be me being honest.
Yeah.
You know. So, but I just chose not to use them because I had said what I said.
Yeah.
And
cool.
it's kind of like otherwise I'm just kind of repeating what I said, and I was tired like by then. You know, Willpower had like the emotion of Willpower, like that last track. It has, to me, like it's very like hopeful and triumphant, but actually very sad. It's a sad track as well.
It's your closer though, for sure. Like,
Definitely.
you know what I mean? If you listen to like the 5 tracks in any order and said which is the closer, you're gonna know Willpower is the finale.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
like it is the obvious finale.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's that's it. Like, you know, it's the goodbye.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Where will it be available? God's Planet. Where can we buy God's Planet, and will there be a launch party?
Right. So I didn't plan a launch party, to be honest. It will be on all platforms anyway. If you want to buy it, like, you can go onto my Bandcamp. Okay. I haven't decided yet. Will I release it will I release it physically or not? Maybe along down the line, I might do vinyl.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I spent all my money, and like I spent a lot on all these other albums, and you know, like it was all well spent.
Yeah.
But now it's trying to learn a little more about the business and thinking of myself more than just a creator, but also a businessman, and starting to learn to think of it as a company, you know, which part of me doesn't like that idea at all. My creative side is going, no,
it's
don't
tough,
do that.
yeah. It's going to be tough.
You don't conform to that. But I have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I have to, you know, like if I want to keep doing this, like, you know, I'm 29 now, like, you know, it's time to kind of, you know, build a company in a sense. And yeah, so at the moment I'm learning about music business, and I'll keep learning about that. And I guess someday we'll be having my own record company and getting other musicians, signing musicians maybe. We'll see what happens down the line. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I've a lot of creative stuff to do, and not just free jazz, and I don't want to say any more about that.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
yeah, I like, as some people know, like I have been rapping now recently, and you were on that gig, which is amazing.
that
was first
amazing.
gig.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm branching out to different things, and I need to give it a year or a year and a half before I decide to do another jazz album, because it was such a long run of all that stuff, and now I want to try other things and take a break and learn about other things. It's very demanding, like free jazz is very demanding, like, and to be the way I was doing it as well, frequently, like releasing 3-4 albums a year, like it's a lot of work. It's the preparation, the mindsets, the ways of there's a lot of reflection, like a lot of decoding things in my mind, and it's a lot of work. I've done a lot of work now. I feel I'm being very truthful about that, and I think other people will see like the evidence for it there. Like, you know, there's a lot of work that's been done now, and I just have to take a step back from the intense creating all the time side, and learn to balance that within a business side. Okay. So I can manage. So I can cope.
Yeah, absolutely. Get that yin yang.
Yeah, for sure, because it has to balance, like, you know. We're nearly out of grapes.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, like, that was incredible. You scored 100%.
Thanks very much.
On the God's Planet
very good
pop
questions.
quiz.
Thank you very much, Cal.
You know, like, I just cannot wait to see this album, like, you know, do what I hope it does and more, and I'll just have it on the spin all the time, like, you know.
Thanks, man.
When I'm driving around, when I'm trying to use that code, like when I'm trying to tap into new things, like, you know. I've listened to it a lot now in preparation for this, like,
I believe
I'll show you my notes on each track, and we'll have a good laugh kind of breaking down what you think of, you know, what they mean to you, and then what they meant to me and stuff, like my interpretations of them.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how it's going to be, because in a business sense, the music world is not not what I thought it was. You know, I was I guess I was naive in my. I had a youthful, naive mindset about music business. I thought it was always about you just make great music. That's not how the world is. That's not how it is anymore.
No.
It's not how, and I had to learn that.
Trigger warning.
Yeah,
Trigger warning. That's not how it goes.
No, and I was so like stubbornly obsessed with creating innovative, off the wall, risky, free jazz, creative, blah 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 stuff that I didn't want to think about that. I just wanted to. I wanted to create really, really interesting, deep products, and because I was so caught up in that, I never considered the whole game of the business world. The certain way you play the game, and I've had to learn that, and I'm still learning, and that's what I'm working on now. You know.
I think it's mostly cute selfies, though. You know, don't overestimate. A lot of it is just cute selfies.
It's learning how to like
good interviews.
It's learning how to manage your ads online. It's learning how to
ads,
it's learning how to think of it as all this stuff that they don't tell you.
The gigs have got to be fire. The selfies have got to be fire.
Yeah.
And then the content has just got to be fire.
But it's also learn to target the right audiences.
The target.
All that kind of stuff. Learning to gather the data and all that kind of stuff that comes with the modern world of advertisement. You know, it's just it's the world we live in now.
Product placement.
All that shit. And you know, that's my creative side speaking.
But so
my business side
who is
saying,
it?
You gotta know
who
this.
is it going to be? Who is the target audience going to be if God's Planet is for everyone? But then everyone's not going to be able to listen to it. So who is it being targeted for? Jazz students?
I want it to be for everyone.
Yeah.
I want everyone to. I want like.
So how do you target everyone?
How do I target everyone? I guess like using Facebook ads and Google ads and all that kind of stuff. Like, like how do I target everyone? I guess target like you wouldn't be targeting pop fans. Rock fans. So you do have to have a certain target of jazz. Some in a way, but maybe like the way I would maybe target is people interested in meditation, people into philosophy, people into that, people into simulated reality.
Okay,
This
that's really cool.
All that kind of shit, you know. So because it goes in with that.
Yeah.
It's just a code of that. That's what it is. It's a code of those philosophies. It's just in a musical form.
Okay, nice.
So so that's one way I'll do it. Like I said, I spent all my money. So, but you know, I'll figure it out. I'm just happy it exists.
Yeah.
And whether people don't get it now, it'll exist for the future, and that's what I'm grateful for. It's there. It's a long-lasting thing.
The codes are there. It's like the.
It's like yantras.
Yeah, like, you know, I was gonna say like the cave paintings and stuff, like, you know, the hieroglyphs.
They're there.
Yeah, they're there.
They're there.
Oh, that's absolutely brilliant.
That's it.
If
they're
you
there, it's timeless. Like, you know, it's timeless. And in a way inspired by the times.
Yeah.
But the codes are timeless. You know. So to all my fans, think of the music as codes. Think of it codes for your consciousness, data for your consciousness.
Yeah, data
And codes.
I love that. It's like vitamins.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
If you want to eat that last grape, we'll leave it there.
Thank you very much.
It's an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Look, we'll have it. We'll do King Solomon. Unless Martin wants it.
Maybe he does. You can catch it in his mouth.
We'll get the seed out, because I'm always getting the seed out anyway.
Thank you very much.
The seed's still in that, I don't know.
Thank you. And for everyone watching, Cal McGrath. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks very much.
Jazz journalist.
Yeah.
My first ever interview and stuff. But first of many though. That was a great crack.
Thanks, man.
Deadly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Caught.
Soundboard. Thanks a lot. Fucking, that was excellent.